Someone said the turning radius on the new Tundra is horrific. What? So I did a
So
video on
bad.
my Sequoia. What? I haven't actually looked at the technical differences. Why was the old gen, the second gen Sequoia and Tundra were like the Walker lawnmowers? You can like pivot on the back wheels and just turn and go down the street. Why'd
Yeah.
they get rid of that? That's
I,
crazy.
I don't know if it is because it has wider axles or just like a wider stance or what, but it's atrocious. It is so bad. I didn't even
Yeah.
know that until I like had one, and then my Platinum was a 6.5 foot bed. So I mean, that was just a boat to try to turn. And then the TRD Pro is even worse. Like that is, I don't know if it was miles per hour or one of the FPV people had a pretty viral short form content of just trying to do a 2-lane U-turn with a Tundra, and it like had to go up on a curb and then to do like a simple U, like that's what I'm talking about. Is like how are you in a truck for that long and you have to do a U-turn with it while you're prototyping it, and you're like, we can't do a U-turn in this truck. Like that to me is just mind blowing. And then I get this second gen Tundra, and I'm like, oh crap, it's a big boat, like a big bubble. And I was like, I could just whip right into a spot, like as good as a little Corolla or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, I do the same thing in my Sequoia. My wife laughs. She hates the Sequoia because it's too big. She just doesn't want to drive it. But then when she goes to a parking lot or something, she's like, oh, it's actually easier to park than any of the other cars we've got.
Yeah.
She can
It's
turn on the
crazy.
dime and get in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it has to do with how the lower control arms are or how wide the axle is or something like that. That's a technical thing for the car care nut or someone to really dive deep into.
Yeah, you were talking about GM. The AT4X, that would be a nice vehicle to have. I would love that the Duramax, just
100%.
for,
Yeah.
I've got a couple of friends with them and they get like 27, 28 miles per gallon on the highway. Just, they love them.
Yeah.
But then you got the transmission issues if you keep them too long. So,
Right. Yeah. Our neighbor just got one of them, and he drove off the other day while we were walking the dogs. I was like, I mean, I know it's a mini Duramax, but it actually sounds like a Duramax. Like it has that note to it that just makes it sound like an actual Duramax. And yeah, I mean, they get such good miles per gallon, especially if you're going to be towing with it too. I mean, it's a good little truck, for sure. It's just, I don't understand why, like, and I get that the Toyota hybrids are meant for power and they're not like a Prius, which that's kind of, it sucks on Toyota's end, well, when they made such good hybrids that get just insane gas mileage. But I just don't understand how they do so good for their cars. Even their bigger SUVs like the Highlander and the Sienna gets like 34 miles per gallon or 35 or something like that. And then like their trucks just barely get 20. I mean, even though they advertised like mid 25s for this new 4Runner, like I barely get 20 with this thing. Even when it was stock, it was like 21, maybe 22 miles per gallon. And it's just, I don't understand what the big disconnect is with their cars. I mean, these are big blocks going through the air, but still, it's crazy when you come to their trucks. But then Chevy with their little Duramax and stuff, and even their V8s get good gas mileage too when they shut off to 4 cylinders. So
yeah, I think it's that forced induction. Anytime you add a turbo and you need more gas. If you got more air, you need more gas, and it's just there's no way around it. I don't think it definitely wasn't a gas mileage play. Everybody thinks that the EPA kind of forced this. I still think it was just, Ford started it with the EcoBoost back in, what was it, 2010-ish, somewhere around there. Ford started the whole twin turbo V6 thing. Everybody thought, oh, they're kind of crazy. And then now everybody's kind of chasing them and had to play catch up with them. And but they're chasing power. I don't think they're chasing miles per gallon, because the EcoBoost never got good mileage. I had 2 of them and they were terrible. They were just like the Tundra, but you're getting 500 foot-pounds of torque and the same mileage you get in a V8. So that's the disconnect that people aren't understanding, is you get basically 100 foot-pounds of torque more. And if you're in an area like me, you're at 5 to 10,000 feet towing. I mean, I can tell you right now, you tow a 30-foot trailer up, I go up I-70, it tows like a dream with the turbos.
Right.
I don't trust them.
Right.
I know they're not going to last anywhere near what that V8 does, but that's the game. They're trying to chase the specs. they got reviewers like TFL doing the Ike Gauntlet, so they don't want to rank last on the list, so then everybody has to do that same forced induction game.
Yeah, definitely people at altitude are loving the new Tundras and Forerunners and just turbo cars in general, because when you guys have such thin air, I mean, an NA, that's kind of like all it's good for. And if you don't have that, I mean, the power reduction is just so significant being at altitude, whereas the turbo helps compensate for that. So, but I mean, it is, it's crazy. Tinker's Adventures channel. Kai does very good breakdown stuff too on engineering stuff. He'd be a cool dude for you to get on. He likes Toyotas for sure.
Yeah, he's great, man. His videos he puts so much time into one video. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah,
you know, you're going to grab your popcorn and sit down and start to finish. Yeah, Kai just bought that single cab 4.7, right? Was it a 4.7?
Yeah, his is a 4.7. Yes.
Yeah. He was looking for a unicorn for sure.
He was. A regular cab short bed Tundra has been like on my dream list of trucks to own one day, but I want it with the 5.7 and 4-wheel drive, and I think that would be a cool like drag truck, like just slam it and put a supercharger on it and just have it as like a go fast truck or something. I think that would be really cool. Or pick up an old Toyota pickup and put like a modern drivetrain in it or something, kind of like a resto mod. I don't know.
You said supercharger. I actually thought of buying one of those Magnuson, the TRD superchargers for my old Sequoia, and just seeing how long it would last. Like, it's already got high mileage. Like, I would never do that if I didn't have a YouTube channel, but
like, how quickly can you blow it up?
Yeah.
I
just see.
I just put the OTT tune onto my Tundra, actually, because I'm still waiting for the supercharger to come in. And that woke that truck up so much. Just a simple tune, kind of reprogramming the shift points and stuff, and the throttle response as well is so much better. It really changed my mind about that truck, because I mean the 5.7 honestly is very sluggish in my opinion. Like, if you floor it, it gets up and goes. It's a very powerful engine, but just that simple tune just puts so much life into that truck. If I didn't have a supercharger on order, it would really, I'd be fine with it, like with how it is. Yeah. I even asked my tuner, I was like, should I still supercharge this? And he's like, oh yeah. I was like, okay, we'll still do it then. But
yeah, what do those superchargers cost nowadays for the 5.7?
They're, I think, like 8 to 9-ish for that truck, because Magnuson just came out with a new kit for it. So I believe they're around 8 to 9. This new kit actually may even be closer to $10,000, I think.
Yeah.
So I would love to get a Magnuson sponsorship, but they don't sponsor anyone. So
right. I'm just, no, you can just buy it.
Yeah. You want it anyways, just buy it. Okay.
Yeah, the 5.7, man, it is just such a great engine. Did you know when you bought your latest 5.7, it's gone up in value, hasn't it? Do you think it's since you bought it?
I'm going to have to double check. That'd actually be a good video to kind of bring it back to the channel on, actually. That's actually a really good idea. I couldn't believe how much it was for that old of a truck. Granted, it only had like 27 or 28,000 miles on it as a TRD Pro. But I mean, like, MSRP of that truck in 2019 was like 51 or 52, and I bought it for 50. Like, that's just wild. But I am curious if the value has maintained or if it has gone up a little bit. But that particular truck is... that's a forever truck. Like, that's always been a truck that I've had in my head of how I want a Tundra to like be built up and stuff. So I'll never, well, I say never, but I don't intend to sell that truck. But it would be cool to see what the value is of that, and maybe compare it to the value of my Platinum. Like, if I kept the Platinum for what I sold it for that truck, and if the value of the Platinum kind of went up because I sold it as it was just, the Tundra market was just falling. So that would actually be a pretty cool comparison video.
Yeah, lately I've been looking at second gens, and just the market's nuts.
Yeah,
it's just anything with low miles on those, it's gone. I saw even a 2012, I mean, old, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
a 2012 with a topper, it had 54,000 miles on it. It was north of me. And they wanted $29,000 for this,
Holy
for a
crap.
2012. And I'm thinking that's way overpriced. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get that. I called the dealership and they just kind of like laughed at me when I said it was overpriced. I'm like, yeah, come on, you guys aren't going to get this. I'm playing the game, you know? And it was gone the next day.
Jeez, that's
Yeah, just,
crazy.
it didn't sit at all. So yeah, people love those 5.7s. They want them like, they just want to buy them and keep them, you know?
Yeah, I'm curious if the Forerunner market is going to do the same with the fifth gen Forerunner. It's maintained itself for a while, but I am curious, like a year down the road, once there's 100+ thousand, close to 200,000 sixth gen Forerunners out there, if we'll start to see that kind of fall off a little bit. I feel like the third gen Tacomas didn't hold as well as people thought that they were gonna. I think that the fourth gen Tacoma, aside from a couple issues that it had in the beginning and just the kind of overinflated price as well from Toyota, I think now that people are able to negotiate, $5, $6, $7,000 off a certain model of a Tacoma, I think that has just kind of brought the whole market of Tacomas down. But Tundra is like really holding on. It's very crazy
Yeah.
how different those vehicles are.
Yeah. And even the old 4.7 Tundras, like
Yeah.
first gen Tundras, you, around me anyway, you can't find one for less than like 12 or 13 grand. And they've,
Mm-hmm.
they're, half of them are just wrung out and
Right.
they're wanting more than the second gen sometimes. It's like,
Yeah.
what?
I bought one maybe 5 years ago now. I think I paid like 7 or 8 for it. Sold it kind of after COVID, I want to say for like 11 or 12. And I cleaned it up and I made it a lot nicer than what it was. But if that dude tried to sell it to me today, he'd probably want like 14 or 15 for it, which
Yeah.
is crazy. Just because it was a 2006 limited, it was a nice truck.
Yeah.
But yeah, those values too for a clean one. If they don't have a hole in the frame, like they're going for premium money for sure.
Yeah. Not all, if they're in Colorado, they're probably not all rusted out. It's
Yeah,
dry as heck here.
yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right about the Forerunner though. I think the sixth gen, I like the sixth gen a lot, the look of it.